Welcome to the hit list. Here are 5 of our favorite action RPGs. Number 5 is Jade Empire. Number 4, Diablo 2. Number 3, Dungeon Siege. Number 2, Marvel Ultimate Alliance. And number 1, Freedom Force. Welcome back. Today in Versus, we've got 2 action RPGs for the PlayStation 2, which you all thought was dead, and so you're so wrong.
No, I mean, it's
doing
great
just
stuff.
fine.
And, Rogue Galaxy, huge game in Japan.
Yep.
From the same guys who did Dark Cloud, which is a big sort of hit in Japan, and even Dragon Quest.
Yeah,
obviously.
Dragon Quest 8, man, which was huge. And that's going up against Shining Force EXA. And you and I have been talking about how much we love Shining Force, and have played every single. No.
Shining Force Neo, that was a huge game for both of us, right?
Never played any Shining Force games ever. This is my first exposure to Shining Force. But let's talk about the graphics. Interesting to see that cell shading is like really big in the action RPG world.
Dark Cloud, I love the look of that game.
I love that game.
Came out a few years ago, and this is
that was Dark Cloud 2, yes.
Dark Cloud 2, exactly. Yeah, and the look of that was fantastic. Rogue Galaxy, again, this the graphics of it, it's just such an epic story.
I love it.
And this idea of this spaceship.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
it ripped off Star Wars.
That's
down
fine,
the
though.
line.
Hey, but it's
nice
still,
to have
the
a
graphics
C-3PO
are different, and I think it's kind of cool. I mean, versus Shining Force, which is, again,
traditional
cel-shaded look.
Yeah,
but
more overhead. You don't have control of the cameras. Visually, it's okay. It's cool. I mean, they've got some pretty nice anime kind of cutscenes.
Yeah, but nowhere near, I think, the variety of Rogue Galaxy or the polish of the graphics.
No. It's almost like they're flaunting it, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
like, we are much better than you guys.
But they are, and that's the thing is, like, for an action RPG, you want a lot of different environments. You want kind of a cool look. And I mean, Rogue Galaxy, you just look at it, it's like another one of those PlayStation 2 games you look at and say, hey, it doesn't look dated. Whereas Shining Force to me feels a little dated.
Yeah, it feels a little bit creaky, doesn't it? So hands down, I think graphics
Rogue Galaxy, absolutely.
Audio,
again, I'd have to give this one to Rogue Galaxy, I think. I mean, the voices, that's the whole problem with a lot of these action RPGs.
Voices of Shining Force are punishing.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, but all these action RPGs from Japan, I mean, that's one of the big problems, like, how is the voice acting going to be? Shining Force voice acting is terrible. I think the Rogue Galaxy, it's not great in Rogue Galaxy, but it's still a lot of different voices, a lot of different characters, and they're characters, so they're meant to have sort of unique different voices.
And there are a lot of characters in Shining Force as well, but I think the main problem is the main character, Toma, is you just want to kill him. I'm sorry. You just want to take him out,
right? Looking for his sword. And there's the other, the girl as well.
Yeah, Cyril,
Cyril,
she's okay. She's all right.
Yeah, but again, it's like, I think it's just, you don't care about the characters. At least Rogue Galaxy, you sort of...
I like Jaster.
Well, the thing is, you see the parallel to Star Wars, and you sort of recognize all these characters. It's kind of fun to say, like, here's the robot, exactly, and all this stuff, and you sort of see, here's the C-3PO, and here's, who's R2-D2.
And all the space pirates are pretty colorful and fun as well.
I hate teaming up with small fries. Never expected Desert Claw to be such a youngster.
I don't think either one is, state of the art. It's not the best audio I've ever
But you don't expect that from sort of a Japanese action RPG, I think. And Rogue Galaxy actually impressed me that it was as good as it was.
Yes, it was. All right, now what do you think in terms of gameplay? We are talking about 2 hack and slash role-playing games. It's not a turn-based deal at all.
No, I think what's kind of cool about Rogue Galaxy is it's sort of, you sort of see the map and you can kind of go into the battle. So that's the idea that you don't necessarily there's no break where it sort of goes right into the game, and it's sort of very
Things
fluid.
do pop out of thin air though a little bit in Rogue Galaxy, whereas in Shining Force you actually see the enemies that you're going to attack. But the problem in Shining Force is that it's very linear. Everything is very much driven forward all the time. There isn't really any room on the map. There's invisible walls. You can't change the camera angles at all. So you can literally just press the hit button, and it's like X.
Well, that's saying it's a button masher. And that's the thing is, especially when you don't care about the story, the graphics aren't that great, and the sound's annoying. It's sort of like the gameplay really would have to be phenomenal or do something revolutionary and innovative.
And I didn't hate it. And they should have made the combat a lot more exciting. I mean, they really should have just gone the God of War extra mile and given you more combos and cooler things to do.
You look at God of War and the way it does action combat compared to these games. I mean, even like Rogue Galaxy, I mean, it's fine, and I think you sort of care about the story, but God of War...
weapons in Rogue Galaxy.
Yeah, Rogue Galaxy is just a much better game from the gameplay perspective.
No God of War.
No,
doesn't even enter the ring. I like the interstellar kind of storyline in Rogue Galaxy as well. You get to travel and visit lots of cool planets and, you know, mingle with lots of different people.
Variety, when you're playing a game this long, you know, you're investing that much time.
It's huge as well.
You want to see a lot of different variety in the levels. And I was saying Shining Force, it felt to me like, you know, it's the same, you know, same tree, same path you see again and again.
Yeah, overall in gameplay and just overall.
Across the board.
Across the board,
once again. So what are you giving Rogue Galaxy?
I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10.
Absolutely, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. And what about Shining Force EXA?
Shining Force, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10.
I'm going to give that one a 7.
All right, well, pretty clear there was no contest here when it came to which action RPG was better. We're definitely giving that to Rogue Galaxy, which is an impressive RPG. I can't wait to see what they do with the PS3 version of that.
Today on the show, Jeff and I took a look at S.t.a.l.k.e.r Shadow of Chernobyl. Great ambience of this creepy shooter, but it gets pretty boring just walking around the huge environments waiting for something to happen. Medal of Honor Vanguard. Good audio presentation and the controls are fairly precise, but the visuals are pretty lame compared to other World War II shooters out there, and there's no online multiplayer. Bullet Witch. Some of the spells are pretty cool, but the frame rate, enemy AI, and the controls kill the fun. In Versus, it was Shining Force EXA. It's a very accessible and fun action RPG, but the combat is pretty straight button mashing against Rogue Galaxy, which delivers an epic story with great graphics and cool characters, but enemies do pop up out of thin air, and they sure borrow from Star Wars. In the end, Jeff and I much preferred Rogue Galaxy. In fact, the Rogers Video Game of the Week is Rogue Galaxy. Kratos could mop the floor with all these anime characters.
Yeah, that's.
I'd love to see that actually. Kratos just hopping
crossover.
Yeah, in one of these cell-shaded games.
What's going on? And just take it down.